Why, hello there. Thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name is Joshua Balata. I moved to France 6 years ago to study over here, and since I found a fancy job, I decided to stay and work over here. Back in October last year, I started prepping for my French nationality. I wanted to apply for it and I wanted to ace the exam. Now, I prepared this kilogram of documents to submit. I prepared the material for the interview. I worked against the mirror to just improve the last bit of my delivery in French, and I tested this with a trusted buddy back in the day. In a video I made at that time, it was not explicitly clear, but in that video I was just talking about prepping for the interview. I didn't tell you guys anything about the documents and the prerequisites to apply for the nationality itself. That's what I'll do in this video. Also, where I am with this whole citizenship thing. It's gotten so much better, honestly. I have a friend who applied for the citizenship back in his day, and he said for the last 10 years he had to submit where he lived and a contact person that they could call. Any country outside France, Morocco, India, wherever, a number they can call and say, did this dude live in your place? Okay, gotcha. We don't have to do that anymore. Now, once you have your kilogram, you send that with an additional stamped envelope that you already paid for. So in case they reject it, they can send it back to you. I did that too. There's a lot of documents in there. I got stuck specifically with my parents' birth certificate. For some reason, they did not want to accept that. And with my French language test. And I've done my French language test. I've done my B1 from back in the day, but they want it to be from less than a year ago. It doesn't just sit right with me to pay another 200 something euros to do this exam again when I've already done it and my level is way better than that. So with frustration, I just put all of that stuff inside my cupboard and I forgot it for the last few months. In case you're in this journey too, or with any other French paperwork for that matter, there's this thing called the French Public Service. If you don't know what that is, there are these simulators that guide you with respect to which documents you need to bring and so on. I've spoken about all of that in this video right here. Check that out because I'm not going to repeat on how you can enlist those things in this video. If you're curious, that's where you gotta go. And there's also this thing called the casier judiciaire, which attests to the fact that you're not a wanted criminal back home. Quite straightforward if you're not a criminal, but I did struggle with this because it's only valid for 3 months. This no objection certificate is only valid for 3 months. So if your documents get rejected, you got to pay for it and you have to get a new one again. Then there's a timbre fiscal, admin fees. This is 55 euros. If you get rejected again, you got to ask for a reimbursement, get the money back into your account, and buy a new one just before applying a second time. I need to submit a total of 6 documents. They said that my birth certificate is not notarized. I used the same birth certificate for my previous work permit, the notarized one, and it was accepted then, strangely enough. Speaking of which, even my work permit from back in the day was from the previous address, and they want me to ask for a new one with my current address. That'll take another couple of months. I'm so frustrated about this. I'm just considering hiring an agent or a lawyer who could help me with this whole process, or maybe just go and sit and talk with them to show them my documents and kind of discuss with them before just starting all over again. There's so many reworks and dependencies that just frustrates me. So I put it in my cupboard and I forgot about it. Now, I don't have the patience to do this several times over. If you're accepted, however, at this stage, then they'll send you a convocation to come for the interview. And that's what I've been preparing for all this while in that other video I spoke about. Even when your French is pretty good, you can't prepare for it overnight. So it's wise to start preparing for that before you start mustering up your documents. After this interview, they'll take some more time to decide if you're going to be French or not. And there you have it. That's the whole process. Back when I moved to France, I was clueless about all these things. I had bigger fish to fry. I was not worrying about my nationality or about my driver's license, for instance, because back then all that mattered was to polish up my CV and to get a fancy job that can pay back my debt as soon as possible. My pieces of advice on assimilating in France and getting a fancy data job is the topic of my MIM series. I also invite other people on this series that studied the same thing as I, but chose to work in different fields like marketing, like entrepreneurship, or luxury, or finance. Things that I don't know. If you're contemplating studying in France or you're already here, then this series should definitely be valuable for you. There's another playlist called the Skills playlist where I talk about the stuff that I'm currently working on because I've never done that in the past. I did not document how I learned French, how I learned video editing, and all these other things that I've been spending my time on before. That's the objective of my skills playlist. Even this video fits in right there because I'm struggling with this thing right now. If you found this video helpful or entertaining, please leave this video a thumbs up. It definitely helps my channel. Hit subscribe if you haven't already. I'll see you guys on the next one. Keep learning.